This next person, well, the person's name, she or he, has a name called Toadstool, so whoever you are, Toadstool.
Probably a Mario fan.
Could be, yeah. What?
Too.
I love Super Mario.
Super Mario, yeah, yeah. Once again, we're not endorsing Super Mario, we just like it. Okay, can you grow back parts of the brain after an injury?
To a certain extent, yes. That's why we treat people to recover some functional loss. But whether it's exactly a full recovery of replacing exactly what they lost, it's hard to say, and it depends on exactly what we're talking about. We can regain function. We can also regain connections. But again, to replace completely what was lost, that's what research is trying to answer.
Yeah. So like I think the traditional thinking is that once you have like a part of your brain that's dead, then it's kind of dead for good. But I think there's more research coming up lately that can show after like spinal cord injury, you can have like sprouting of neurons. For something like stroke, if you have a big part of your brain, like a chunk that just dies, that part of the brain is not going to grow back, but regaining of function is sort of rewiring of connections. So the neurons that are there sort of adapt and sort of take over roles to a certain extent. A lot of times it's not as effective as the original part, but
yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna say. Like, you might not get entire, like, if you have a cut on your hand or something, it's not gonna grow back like entirely, but you can get back function. Like, you can functionally grow back stuff.
Right.
And
So the brain material is neurons. It's a massive pile of neurons, and so the creation of new neurons is called neurogenesis. And we do know that neurogenesis is active in certain parts of the adult brain throughout your life, like the SVG and different
I think
parts
it's
of
like
the brain.
neuroepithelium. Like, do you get a new neuroepithelium? No, not neural.
The nose.
Nasal. Yeah, I don't know about that too much. But yeah, your nose. You get a new one each week, or
Right.
it's quite regular.
I think that as far as neurogenesis, though, the creation of new neurons, that they're such a specialized cell that they do not repopulate, they do not regenerate as quickly as something like on your skin. So if you get a scratch, you heal up, and that's part of the creation of new cells filling in that skin. So it doesn't happen like it would for trauma anywhere else, but you do have, like everyone else said, you do have reforming of certain circuitry.
And also, like, our brain is so adaptive that, like, even when you have an injury at one site, what's remaining can take over that injured function to a certain extent, and you might not notice.
Yeah, yeah.
So sometimes also there's evidence that even though there is neurogenesis after a traumatic brain injury, that it's trying, and that's part of the healing process. Sometimes that can turn pathological as far as like leading to other disorders and leading to hyperexcitability in the brain. So like development of epilepsy, which is where you have recurrent uncontrolled seizure activity, is closely related to traumatic brain injury. And so you have a greatly increased risk of developing epilepsy if you've had trauma to your brain.
Do you know which part of the body does grow back, or which organ grows back after you like chop by chop?
Kidney and liver, those are.
Or I don't know about the liver, or about the kidney.
Liver.
I know about the liver.
Yeah.
Our next question comes from Jeffrey Riley. How come you can train a dog but not a cat?
I think you can train a cat.
You can, they're highly trainable. I think that they respond a lot more to positive reinforcement. You cannot use negative reinforcement like you can with dogs as easily. I think that...
Negative reinforcement.
Well...
I think a cat would be like,
yeah, exactly. They just don't respond because I think that they're not as motivated with working with a companion and partnership working. Like a dog has been bred to be a pack animal and to want to listen to its owner and its companion. But I think a cat is it's not as pack-oriented, companionship motivated.
You might want to explain what positive and negative.
Yeah, is this like
Psychological.
this is like long-term potentiation stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah. So Yeah, you know more about that than I do.
Well, and I think, yeah, cats are highly trainable, especially with specific activities where they would have to articulate their hands. A dog would not be able to do that as easily.
Thank you everyone who's asked a question today. All of you get a Brain Bee shirt. So this is an annual contest. I think I'm covering you guys up.
That's right.
This is an annual contest we have. It's kind of like a spelling bee, but it's a brain bee. We have students from grades 9 to 12 answering questions about the brain, and they get a really nice prize afterwards. They get like an iPad or something. Is there a monetary prize?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, but it
Monetary
changes every
prize?
year.
Yeah.
But come and participate, you'll have fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay. Well, see you next time.